An electric minivan made by Ford has just beaten every single road legal car ever made in history around the Nurburgring, except for one, the Porsche 911 Manthe Performance Edition. Right. In other words, this is the second fastest production car, legal production car ever made around the Nürburgring. And it's an electric minivan from Ford. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. I've been saying for a very long time now that internal combustion engine cars are slow. That within a few years' time, no one will take them seriously. They'll think, okay, loud, therefore equals slow. And I know that's going to hurt a lot of feelings. I personally love the sound of cars. I don't know why. The sound of a classic old 1970 Camaro just sounds amazing. But the truth is, do you think of a 1970 Camaro as being a fast car? You don't. That noise is synonymous with slow. And electric cars are clearly the future, especially when it comes to performance. The irony here is the Ford Supervan, right, which has just set the second fast road legal track time around the Nurburbring in history, has only 1,400 horsepower, right? The new BYD supercar, it has more than 3,000. Wild. It's been less than a month since the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1X actually beat the Mustang GT's lap time at the Nürburgring, but Ford came back with their electric Transit Supervan, setting a time that, kind of puts internal combustion supercars to shame. In fact, this was a faster time than any Ferrari or Lamborghini in history. Ford says it was inspired by a famous segment from Top Gear when taking the Supervan 4.2 to the green hell. In the show's fifth season, Sabine Schmitz coached Jeremy Clarkson around the circuit in a Jaguar S-Type diesel, attempting to set a sub 10-minute lap time. Now, I can tell you from driving the Nurburgring, it's extremely difficult. There's so many corners. And generally, the way you become good at a racetrack is you just memorize the corners. It's relatively easy. You get used to it. You can't memorize the corners at the Nurburgring unless you spend months and months and months doing it. Anyway, she later proclaimed she'd be able to lap the circuit in less than 10 minutes in a Ford Transit, and in Top Gear's sixth season, she recorded an impressive time of 10 minutes and 8 seconds in the Transit. The Supervan 4.2, it's not technically a Transit. The truth is it shares nothing in common with the road vehicle, with Romain Dumas behind the wheel, who recently took out top honours at the Goodwood Festival of Speed with the F-150 Lightning Supertruck. The Supervan set a best time of 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Meaning, if you bought a Mustang GTD, don't get me wrong, I think it's a very cool car, this just beat you. Now, in terms of non-road legal prototypes, yes, this isn't road legal. It actually came ninth. But making it road legal in the future, cars like this won't be very difficult. Anyway, the Supervan 4.2's time beat this Corvette ZR1X's best time of 6:49.275, and it beat, like I said, every Ferrari and every single Lamborghini and Koenigsegg that's ever been tested. The Ford also managed to outperform some other impressive supercars, in particular the AMG Deep Black Series, the Porsche 918 Spider, the Lamborghini Huracan Performante. Anyway, it doesn't mean a whole lot. This is a one-off vehicle, but the truth is, here's the point. It's a 1,400 horsepower electric minivan. Imagine what this same minivan could do with, I don't know, the powertrain from this new BYD, or the powertrain, these new motors that we're seeing that have 650 kilowatt from a motor that weighs 13 kilograms, right? Stick 4 of those in one of these, all of a sudden you're running around with about, more than 3,000 horsepower in a vehicle that might weigh, 1,500 kilograms. Like I said before, if you've got an internal combustion supercar, then I actually think you've wasted your money. And I know there's a lot of excitement around them, I get that, but I think it's going to change pretty soon when people start to realize that internal combustion vehicles, they just can't. It doesn't matter what you do to make them go fast. They just aren't that fast. Even Dodge said it. I mean, even Dodge, the biggest muscle car manufacturer in the world, said internal combustion is the past. We can't make it go any faster. Thanks for watching. Ford has now discounted the Mustang Mach-E by around $20,000 here in Australia. Their latest discounts bring the price down by, $20,000 since Ford launched the Mustang Mach-E here in our country. So why have Ford been doing this, and is it worth considering buying a Ford Mustang Mach-E now that the price of all three versions has been slashed? Well, here's what I think. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. I don't mind the Ford Mustang Mach-E. If you're going to pick between, say, the Toyota BZ4X or the Mustang Mach-E, I'd have the Mustang Mach-E. But if I was going to pick between my personal car and a Mustang Mach-E, I'd have my personal car every day of the week because, well, charging, range, interior space, to be honest, pretty much everything. But anyway, the Mustang Mach-E it's definitely not the worst car. And how the prices have been slashed by an additional $12,000, it's not bad value either. That said, I still don't think it's quite competitive, and here's why. Ford has reduced the price of the Mustang Mach-E now in Australia by around $20,000 for the mid-spec and the base model versions since it first launched. The price was reduced about, I believe 2 days ago by a further $12,000, meaning it is now discounted by around $20,000. The top spec model, the Mach-E GT, which is actually a nice car but very pricey, starts at $94,000 drive away. It was $106,000 drive away. So yeah, an additional $12,000 discount for the Mustang Mach-E GT. And it's worth pointing out, guys, that's the fastest Ford that's ever been sold in Australia. Not EV, that's the fastest Ford ever, period. And it's an SUV. So when you think about it like that, it's actually pretty decent value. Like the GT version, the mid-spec model that's the premium variant that has had its price discounted by $9,000. It now has a driveway price of $77,000. That's pretty close to a $20,000 discount from what it was priced at when it was launched. Because remember, that includes basically your fees and charges. Everything's included, $77,000. So Americans, that works out to about $49,000 US for the mid-spec model. So it's a bit more expensive here in Australia than what it costs in the United States. And obviously, because it's made in the US, it's you guys got to ship it over to here. So that's fair enough.